Hi, and welcome back to Grief and Motherhood, a space where we hold truth and tenderness side by side. I'm Kaitlin, and I'm your host. And today I'm joined by a really special guest whose story and work are rooted deep in healing and powerful transformation. I'm excited to welcome Kristen. She is a therapist and a trauma conscious embodiment coach. She's an empath, a nature lover, and a fur mama. And she is also a proud daughter of refugees, an endometriosis warrior, and an intergenerational cycle breaker. Through her work, she helps women find their inner power to live on their own terms, heal trauma, and navigate their fertility journeys with more peace, empowerment, and joy. Kristen, welcome to the podcast. I'm so honored to have you here today.
Thank you. I also feel very honored to be here.
Thank you. I'm excited to talk to you and to hear your story. Yeah, let's just go ahead and jump right in. Would you love to share with our guests just a little bit about your journey? What led you to do the healing work that you're currently doing?
Yes. Okay. So my journey towards motherhood, which is still an ongoing journey, and you could say started when I was a child, when I always wanted to be a mother, just felt it in my soul, in my
Sure.
body. That is what I wanted to be. And I actively started trying to be a mother 3.5 years ago with my husband. And throughout that journey, trying, we weren't able to do that naturally and decided to go to a fertility clinic. And while we were there, we found out that I had endometriosis
Mm.
and adenomyosis. And despite that diagnosis, we moved forward with 3 failed IUIs, 2 egg retrievals that amounted to a low-level mosaic. And for those of you who maybe don't know what that is, it's essentially an embryo that has some abnormal cells and some
Mm.
normal cells. And that had been a very difficult journey. So my husband and I decided to take a break. And within that, I ended up having endometriosis surgery where they found out that I had stage 4 endometriosis. And they said, you know what? After the surgery, you should try naturally and you actually should be good. You're going to get pregnant. And so we tried naturally for about six-ish months. And in that journey, we 1 month got pregnant, but unfortunately I miscarried. And that was a very difficult moment, but we kept moving forward and we're back at going to fertility treatments again. Actually, as I'm speaking to you, I'm in the process of talking to and doing testing with a new clinic. So I'll leave my story at
No,
that point.
that's oh, man, what a journey so far. I'm so sorry for your loss. A miscarriage is never easy. And something that no mother should ever have to endure, especially with all the struggles you've had to begin with. I feel like it makes it a harder journey for you. But I'm so happy that you're still moving forward. And so what does that look like now for you? As far as I'm sure it's not easy doing the fertility treatments themselves. I've heard stories how hard that is on your body and just mentally too. I know that's a lot. Yeah. What does that look like for you now?
Yeah. So it's really interesting because it's really powerful how the body remembers. And I'm noticing myself coming into a free state of the nervous system. And what I mean by that is just this state of feeling paralyzed, feeling a bit numb and depressed, and just being really aware of, wow, my body is responding to knowing that this is coming
For
based off of how it was in the past, which again, if people have gone through the fertility treatments, many of us know is physically painful with all of the injections and the medications and the impact that it has on your body. especially if you do have endometriosis, it actually exacerbates your disease, which
Sure.
is also a concern for myself in terms of, wow, the quality of my life is going to be impacted by this, not
Yeah.
just in the moment, but in the long run as well. And of course, it's also emotionally
Yeah.
a very difficult journey, just with the hoping that things will work out, hoping that I can get an embryo, hoping that it can implant and become a baby. And the fear from also having a miscarriage in the past is this going to happen again? And just being really concerned about that. So it is definitely a scary frontier. At the same time, I do feel like because I've been through this journey, I also feel very blessed that alongside this journey, I actually received training in somatic and embodiment work. And that has been so powerful for me
Yeah.
to be able to go through this journey in a more empowered and peaceful way. And so I do also at the same time feel more ready for this and equipped because I have these tools.
Sure. Wow, I love how positive you are because it is a tough journey. And I do think staying hopeful and reaching helps a lot. I really do. So I love that. I'm sure, again, it's not easy. So I think you're doing great. I think you're doing wonderful. I see you. And yeah, I love to share that we're on this journey together because I feel like as moms, like and lost moms, we have to be like so supportive of each other. And just, I love that you use the empowerment word because I think that is so important as well. So that's great. I want to hear more about the work you're doing with that, with all of that and helping others through that journey. Can you tell us a little bit what that's been like for you?
Yeah, of course. I would say the number one thing with my work is helping us to connect with ourselves, connect with the pain, the anger, the sadness, the numbness, the shame, and being able to have compassion for it and sit with it. And when we sit with it, it tends to release a little bit and we get to learn a little bit more. We get some insights and wisdom about what is it that we are needing in that moment. And so that's predominantly the work that I do, helping us to connect within, to process what it is that we're going through and how we can learn from that and make empowered decisions from that place.
That's beautiful. I love that. And so, what really brought you to that work? Just going through everything that you have? Is that kind of what has led you there?
I would say a part of it is serendipitous and a part of it is, of course, my experiences in
Sure.
life. I, before doing this work, I was working on child's rights and environmental rights campaigns.
Huh.
And it was actually really fulfilling work. However, I found myself overworking, losing my hair, incredibly stressed, burnt out. It was really like a health collapse that was just
Sure.
happening because of all of the pressure that I was putting on myself and all the pressure that was on me. And I felt this was just not okay. Things had to change. And somehow I found a class on integrative somatic trauma therapy. And prior to doing the human rights and social justice work, I did study to be a therapist.
Okay.
And so I felt, you know what, it's my time to return back. I was doing more of the systemic work, and now I wanted to work one to one. And so I just went deeper into learning more about thematics and embodiment as a methodology to help people heal. And I tell you, how interesting the universe works. This is when I started learning all of this is when my fertility journey and my loss journey arrived. And I just felt, yeah, it just merged I guess I don't want to say perfect timing, but at a
You know,
timing that I needed it.
yeah,
The timing I
absolutely.
needed it. And so that what I've learned plus my lived experience has really informed my work and
Yeah,
made me really passionate about working with people who have gone through or are going through, right? The same exact thing
sure.
that I am.
Yeah, that's incredible. I know you said we're talking about the perfect timing, which I feel like I think you're just led to where you're supposed to be. I just feel
Mhm.
that sometimes we have these things happen to us, like a loss, and we don't obviously want that. That's not something we would ever choose. But I feel like it leads us sometimes to like our greater purpose, like what we're truly supposed to be doing, like what we're passionate about. I never thought I would have a podcast and talking to other moms about our losses. But I love it. And I hate that we have to be here and do that, of course. But just being able to connect and feel that connection and just really take take away from it, I feel is just so powerful. So I totally understand where you're coming from when you say that. So I think you're right where you're meant to be. I think it's great what you're doing because there's not there's not enough resources out there for that. I feel like we need more women like you. So do you specifically work with lost moms or do you work with everybody? I'm just curious how that ties in.
So I do work with women generally. However, I am really looking now to work more with women who have experienced loss and are on their
Yeah,
fertility journey because it's just been such an important
sure.
experience for me. And that is the direction that I want to move more and more toward. And I wanted to add to something actually that you were just saying, if that's okay.
Totally.
Okay, thank you. I feel in this journey towards motherhood for me and experiencing loss and all this pain and disappointment and grief and all of that. At the same time, I feel like it has prepared me so strongly to be the mother that I want to be.
Sure.
It's made me a stronger individual. It's
Mhm.
made me really reflect on how I want to show up in the world for my future children and during difficult moments, how to manage those and how to be the role model for my children in those times. So I feel like, of course, probably none of us want to ever go through any of this, but it has really equipped me and strengthened me to be even more of the person, the mother that I would like to be. So I am grateful for that piece.
Sure. I love that. I truly love that. And I think a lot of moms or moms to be really, that really resonates with them because I think that's, well, perfectly said. That's beautiful. I think what you're doing is great. Thank you for sharing your story with me. I think other moms will really appreciate, again, knowing they're not alone on this journey. And especially a fertility journey, just how hard it can be and navigating that after loss. I know pregnancy after loss is never easy as well because again there's so many emotions and like you said you're dealing with it physically and mentally and emotionally and so I think it's so brave of you and I'm cheering for you and sending you so much love and just want to follow up with you know how are you taking care of yourself through this journey? I know that we as moms and lost moms self-care is so important and sometimes we forget that just how important it is. So I just want to make sure like you're taking care of yourself. And especially with the work you do, I think is so great. I think, like you said, you've learned these new techniques. Yeah. Do you want to maybe elaborate on that a little? How you're taking care of yourself through this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there has been so much that I have learned and that has been so helpful. So like number one for me is whatever you're feeling, allow yourself to feel it.
Yes. I love that.
I would hear things like stay positive. Attitude is everything. And I and
I know. It's like we can slap some people. Just kidding. It makes you want to when you hear these things, right?
yeah, and I know that when people say that, it comes from a good place.
Sure.
I know that it's very well meaning. At the same time, I feel that it invalidates our experience and it takes away the space that we need to give ourselves to feel what is coming up for us, that grief,
Sure.
that anger, the sadness, shame, whatever it is. When I allowed myself
Sorry.
to really, oh no, that's okay. Is everything okay?
Yeah, it's good. My dogs are just going crazy. I'm trying to go ahead.
Oh, don't worry. I have a dog. I think Max here.
Oh, good. They bark at the worst time,
Yeah.
so we'll just cut that part out. But you can continue. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Yeah. So when I actually gave myself that space to just cry, to be angry, to vent, to journal, however I needed to express and be with what I was feeling, I noticed actually more of a shift in allowing me to feel a little bit more at peace inside.
Yeah.
Another self-care tip is to, I'm sure other people have maybe shared this before, but create the boundaries that you need. And so one big thing with boundaries that I personally had a real issue with is rest. My body needed rest through all of the treatments that I was going through, just the emotional load of what I was going through, or when I was miscarrying, your body is really going through something. And creating those boundaries to allow your body to rest or to do whatever it needs. And remembering that we don't need to be 100% in every area of life. You don't have to show up 100% at work. You don't have to show up 100% as a friend, 100% as a partner. You need to create those boundaries to show up for yourself in that moment.
Yeah.
And I think another self-care tip is creating moments, although this sounds, I think, maybe difficult, creating or finding moments of joy, no matter how small they are. You could do, and connected to that is also gratitude. There's like this, like a little bit of a connection there. I just write 3 things that I'm grateful for every evening. I also, just throughout the day, I'll be like, wow, I'm so grateful for the sunshine. And maybe that's the best thing I have for that day. And that's okay.
Absolutely.
And I find so much joy in going out in nature, even if I don't fully feel like it, but I know I'm going to feel better. I'll go out there. I'll go out and do a nice nature walk nearby or go to the ocean. Just find those moments to give me a little bit of relief and feeling, you know what, despite all the difficult things, there's like actually really beautiful things in my life right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that so much. Oh my goodness. That's great. That's something I tell moms that are like really stuck in their grief, especially at the beginning, because sometimes it feels like you won't find joy again. And so I promise you, grief and joy can coexist. So that's something I really try to like remind moms or anyone really, just, I promise you'll feel joy. And even if it's just the smallest ounce of joy, you will feel it again. It will be there. So I love that. That's so powerful. And I love just all the tips you shared. Thank you so much. You're just incredible. I think you're so sweet. Again, I'm cheering for you. I know this is not an easy journey for you, but I appreciate you sharing your story. I appreciate you sharing the work you're doing. I know if my listeners want to connect with you, I'm going to be sharing your information in my show notes so they can reach out to you, dive into what you're doing. And yeah, your words are powerful and your presence is very healing. So I just want you to know that. And you're not alone. We have a whole community here that is cheering for you. I just know it. So thanks for being a guest today. And yeah, I'm excited that we got to hear about you.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's always a little difficult in the beginning to share what
Mhm.
you're going through, not only because it's difficult and painful, but also because a lot of this can be stigmatized and kept quiet. So
Sure.
it feels really empowering to be able to share what I'm going through. And
Yeah.
I know that other people are going through the same, even though all of our journeys look very
Sure.
different. And I hope that what I shared can help others. And I would love if anybody is interested in reaching out, just even to talk.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
People are definitely welcome to do that. So thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Kristen. If today's episode resonated with you, please consider leaving a review or sharing it with a friend who really might need this message today. And again, remember, you're not alone. Until next time, take care of yourself.